Hey, what's going on, guys? Mexican More 62 here, bringing you guys a video today. I know this is kind of a little late because I completely forgot about doing this. Last month was probably the biggest month for PlayStation because of PlayStation Experience, and with so many games being announced, especially, of course, the biggest highlight of the show was The Last of Us Part 2. I was just so excited. I was so thrilled that I made a video. I made a whole prediction and thought video on it that I completely forgot about doing a video on Uncharted The Lost Legacy. That was another big thing that Naughty Dog announced, but I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for Lost Legacy, I really am, but Last of Us Part 2, like, come on, like, oh my god, when that got announced, I was so, like, I was just excited, I just couldn't stop, I was just so excited, I can't even explain myself right now, but now, after a month later, after doing my Last of Us prediction and thought video, I think it's time to do an Uncharted Lost Legacy video, so let's get started with there. We're going to first start off with the story, then we're going to go on with the gameplay, and then probably some returning characters hopefully brought into Lost Legacy that I would love to see. There's probably not going to be too many, but just some characters I would love to see brought into Lost Legacy. So let's get started. So let's start off with story. So, story. What can I say about its story? So, as far as we know, Chloe and Nadine are working together. They somehow got in contact with each other. They might have known each other for a very long time. I mean, who knows? But Chloe and Nadine are working together on trying to find some sort of relic, is what I believe, because it's Uncharted, so it's always about trying to find some sort of relic that leads to a treasure and such. So that's pretty much what I think Chloe and Nadine are working for, is for some sort of relic in some area. We don't know where they're at. I mean, from the trailers, as you see, they're working together, so we don't know what they're trying to find right now, as far as we know. But that's as much as I can say about the story. But I do want to say some stuff that I would love to see in the story. And the first thing I want to start off is a villain. If we can get a brand new villain in the Uncharted Lost Legacy DLC, that would be interesting. I'd love to see a new villain. I mean, obviously, a returning villain wouldn't make any sense because, spoiler alert, if you haven't finished Uncharted, which, I mean, come on, you have to finish Uncharted, but spoiler alert, they're pretty much almost all dead if it was a returning villain. I mean, that wouldn't make any sense. I mean, unless they somehow got, brought back, but that would be stupid. So, I mean, if we get a new villain in Uncharted Lost Legacy DLC, I'd love to see that most. I think a villain would be interesting to see, especially since this is the last Uncharted content we'll be getting from Naughty Dog. So if we get a brand new villain in this Lost Legacy DLC, that would be interesting. I'd love to see that. And other than that, there's not much to say about what else I want on it. I just want to see what the story's about. But, we won't know what the story will be about once it releases this year in 2017. I also want to point out two things as well, if you guys didn't know about this. First of all, is that the Lost Legacy DLC will be after the events of Uncharted 4. So this will take place right after Uncharted 4. And the second thing I also want to point out is that Naughty Dog also confirmed that this DLC, the Lost Legacy DLC, will be longer than the Last of Us Left Behind DLC. The Last of Us Left Behind DLC was 2 hours long, if you don't remember. And, I mean, with that being said, if this DLC is going to be longer than the Last of Us Left Behind DLC, then please, Naughty Dog, please make this Lost Legacy DLC for Uncharted at least 4 to 5 hours. If it's 4 to 5 hours, I will be so happy. Please, I mean, it would make sense if it's going to be 4 to 5 hours because we don't have a release date for this DLC yet. And it's coming out in 2017, and I have a good feeling we'll get a release date at E3 2017. We'll most likely get a trailer with that, and at the end of the trailer, we'll most likely see a release date for this Lost Legacy DLC, and I have a good feeling it's going to be either September or October, November when it'll release. But yes, please, Naughty Dog, please make this DLC at least 4 to 5 hours. I will be so happy. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for its story. There's not much to say too much about it, but I have a good feeling we'll get a story trailer at E3 2017 as well, so we'll just have to wait and see. But anyways, let's get on with the gameplay. So the gameplay, obviously the gameplay isn't going to be much different from Uncharted 4, so it's going to be pretty much the same, but from the trailer, we didn't see a grapple hook. So please, Naughty Dog, if the grapple hook isn't, if it isn't in the Lost Legacy DLC, that will suck. I mean, I have a good feeling it will be, but let's hope that the grapple hook is back in Lost Legacy, because the grapple hook was one of the best mechanics in Uncharted 4. I loved the grapple hook. It was a perfect addition to Uncharted, and hopefully it will return in Lost Legacy, which I have a good feeling it will. We probably will eventually get it throughout the story. So, I mean, let's hope. But yeah, there's not much to say about it really. I mean, the gameplay is going to be as similar as Uncharted 4, obviously, because I mean, if you look at it, it looks the same. So, but I mean, I have no problem with it. I'm glad with Uncharted 4's combat and its gameplay. So yeah, I'm glad to see that nothing has changed that much. So, but other than that, there's also one thing I also want to point out as well. As far as we know, we're going to be playing as Chloe in this DLC. But I also want to say, wouldn't it be cool if we got to play as Chloe and Nadine as well? I mean, we might be playing as Nadine if you think about it. Like, let me give you guys an example here. If you remember, in The Last of Us, we played as Joel. But there was some segments of the game where we got to play as Ellie. If we could do the same thing with The Last of Us, not The Last of Us, The Lost Legacy DLC, where we play as Chloe, and then eventually there are some segments or some chapters in The Lost Legacy DLC where we play as Nadine. If we could play as Chloe and Nadine, that'd be cool, because I do want to play as Nadine. Nadine is one of the most coolest villains in Uncharted, and I want to play as her as well. And she had such an she was such an interesting character that I wanted to know more about her, but we didn't get to know that much about her since she wasn't that much involved in Uncharted 4. I mean, she is one of the main villains in Uncharted 4, but of course Rafe was mainly the main villain in Uncharted 4 storyline. So I want to also get to play as Nadine and learn more about her. So hopefully Chloe and Nadine are both the playable characters, not just Chloe. I mean, I love Chloe, but I also want to play as Nadine as well. So hopefully Naughty Dog does that. I'm thinking they will. But yeah, other than that, there's not much to say about it. Like I said, the grapple hook hopefully makes its return, which I think it will. And we get to play as Nadine as well, because Nadine is such an interesting character. Like I said, I really loved her in Uncharted 4, and I really would love to play as her. Alright, but anyways, that's, like I said, there's not much to say about that. But let's get on with one more thing I want to talk about, and that is returning characters. So, in terms of its returning characters, I have a good feeling we might have at least one character to return. And if I had to say what character that would be, I think it would be Charlie Cutter. Charlie Cutter was never in Uncharted 4. I mean, he was mentioned in Uncharted 4 once, I believe. I think it was in chapter 3 or 2, I believe, or 4. I'm somewhere around there is what I remember. He was mentioned in Uncharted 4, but he was never involved in it. He was never, a part of it. He's never been in Uncharted 4. And if he were to make an appearance in Lost Legacy or some sort of cameo in Lost Legacy, that would be amazing. I really would love to see Charlie Cutter, and it would make most sense just to see him because Chloe has worked with Charlie Cutter, of course, in Uncharted 3. So if he somehow could be involved in Lost Legacy's storyline or just make some sort of cameo, or Chloe ends up calling Cutter to join in with them, that'd be cool. I'd love to see some sort of involvement with him being in the storyline. So other than that, there's not much to say about who else could be in this DLC. Maybe Sam and Sully, but I doubt it. I don't think they'll be involved in this. If anything, Cutter would make the most sense to be involved in this Lost Legacy DLC, but who knows? Who knows if we'll be getting any cameos or some sort of involvement with these characters, any returning characters from Uncharted. Obviously, Nathan Drake's not going to return, so it makes most sense that a character like Charlie would return in this one, so we'll see. But yeah, anyways guys, I think that's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, I just wanted to talk about its story, its gameplay, and its returning characters. That's pretty much it. I will probably be doing another prediction thought video when it comes to a new trailer for Lost Legacy or Last of Us Part 2 when they release a new trailer or new information. I might do some sort of, like I said, another prediction or thought video, so stay tuned to that. But anyways guys, hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you guys later.